The first call that I went on after going through shadowing my boss for several months, and I went on my first death investigation. My boss was going to be there, but he was going to be overseeing and working with me to see how I handled the case. I got the call early evening. It was in the middle of winter, and it was actually a snowstorm. So I hopped up on the highway and got a flat tire. So of course I'm panicking, thinking, oh my God, I've got to get to this call. So I called my boss and I'd said, I'm on the interstate, I've got a flat tire and I'm waiting for the tow truck or, someone to come and change my tire. He said, that's fine, we'll wait for you, which I couldn't believe. The police, they were all going to wait for me. So eventually the assistants came, they changed my tire, and I was on my way. I arrived at the home, and as I walked through the door, they were all waiting for me. And on the floor in front of me was a gentleman that was probably in his 50s. He had had a lot of personal family issues and couldn't take it anymore, and so he ended his life with a high-powered, and time stood still for me. I looked down, and it was so surreal. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. It was a very sobering experience, and it was really diving into the death investigation world. Both feet jumping in, right straight into it. I completed that. I was still numb when I was driving home. I was able to go to bed and didn't really fall asleep, but then a couple of hours later I got another call and I was paged out on a fatality, and it was a young person who was only 2 miles from their home. And I've been told through the years that a lot of fatalities happen very close to your home, within, I think, like 2 or 3 miles. And this was one of those instances. And it was drunk driving. Didn't make it quite home and went off the road. Instead of going into a field, there were rows of pine trees, and this person hit the trees head on. It was February, so of course it was like 20 below with the wind chill, and the body was already freezing in place where the hand and the arm were frozen like in forward, like she was waving. And it was just the way that she'd fallen, and then, with her body freezing and the rigor setting in. Putting her in the body bag, we couldn't even zip up the bag because of her arm being frozen. That was also a very sobering experience. Not sobering as in actually sobering, but a very unbelievable experience to witness. Those two cases that I went on, was, of course, a rude awakening for what was to come for the next almost 9 years of being a deputy. So when I talk about life and appreciating life, appreciating everyone around you, respect, dignity, compassion, enjoying the simple, finer things in life, these are all the cases that have molded me into the type of person that I am, the spiritual person, the person that never takes any moment for granted. I hope you do too, and I hope that you never have to witness or experience what I've seen throughout those years, because no person should have to go through that. Not just seeing, but losing a loved one in different violent and very gruesome ways. So everyone out there, please be well, take care of yourself, and never take a moment for granted.